I grew up in the late 50s, 60s in Norwell. I mean, I didn't, ever call her Mrs. Dulong. It was always, the Avon Lady. She was the Avon Lady for Norwell.
The first day I went out, I came home and I told him, I said, I was so excited. I sold $35 for that day, that campaign. So I would go out and get caught in a snowstorm.
Yeah.
I was like the mail person. Yeah. Rain, snow, sleet, nothing kept me back.
What was it about it?
I don't know, just people. They were my expanded family.
Back then, all the kids would be out playing. We'd be in the streets jump roping or playing dodgeball, and down the street would come Joyce with her big bag and all the good cosmetics for our moms. What was special is she learned to know her customers because she knew that I wasn't into the perfumes and other things, so she would always put those little samples. They're probably about an inch big, and to this day, when she finished Avon, she'd always include those little samples for me. Mom being very happy to have a cup of tea with an adult. We grew up with 7 kids, so I think it gave my mom a nice reprieve to be able to have Joyce come into the home and enjoy her company while she picked out her Avon products. And it was special because back then, we didn't have all the malls and we didn't have access to all the cosmetics. So the Avon products were the first products I used. The first perfume, Sweet Honesty, the lipsticks, and I'm still a lipstick person.
This became a repository for all of the samples that she would buy, to show people. And if she didn't sell them, well, she just kept them. And it just grew and grew over many, many years. We probably had in excess of 50 decanters of aftershave lotion and things like that in all fancy kind of bottles, from motorcycles to sailboats. Her first trailer, if you will, outside of what she carried in her hand, her first trailer was a little 4-wheel red cart that her little son had, and she would put all her Avon and go trucking up the street with that.
I remember that.
And then she graduated to a 2-wheel shopping cart. I would fix the handle so it was a little bit longer for her, so it'd be easier for her to move along, and put bigger wheels on it because of the fact that half the time she'd be moving the cart on the gravel side off the road. And back then, years ago, you could walk up Grove Street and maybe 3 cars would pass you in an hour.
My mom always felt very special when Joyce would come around, and Joyce provided those little things that made her feel like a woman.
And she would put all her products in that and walk up the street. I would drive her up the street with her cot in the car and let her off at Franklin Street or whatever, and she would do her rounds. One customer had an 8-foot snake.
It went like this. I wouldn't even go past the house. I went like this. It was up on Franklin Road.
It wasn't the income, because in all the years that we paid taxes, only 3 years did she make a profit. And the word that I got from these tax people was that this was more of a social thing rather than to make money. I'd be away from home maybe a week and a half out of the month. She had to be here with 3 little children come along, and so that part of it was worked out fine.
Brian, my youngest, was going to nursery school. He was like 4 years old. He'd go out the door at 8:30, and I would have my buggy all ready, and I would go right out, and I'd have to be back by noon.
She had stories to tell about who's having a new baby, who's getting married, whose daughter is finally going to high school, and I'd hear all the gossip. I'd hear all the gossip from the stories that she'd bring back. So receiving the Avon order was like having Christmas once or twice a month. And the boxes would be opened, and ooh, isn't that nice? And you hear all these comments on different things. It was always uplifting.